If you knew that starting a podcast could open up doors you didn't even know existed, would you still be hesitating? Well, today I'm diving into the real, tangible ways that podcasting isn't just a platform, but a gateway to new relationships, new opportunities, and new growth. Welcome to the Podcast Cafe, where we're serving up everything you need to know about podcasting, from tips, stories, and strategies for podcasters from podcasters. I'm your host, Haley Hayhurst, the founder of Espresso Podcast Production, a full-service podcast agency helping business owners, creatives, and thought leaders launch and grow their shows. Whether you're just starting out or want to take your podcast to the next level, this is the place for you. Each week, we'll dive into practical tips, actionable strategies, and of course, stories from other podcasters so that you can build up a podcast that you love and that works for your business. So, grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's get started. Welcome to the Podcast Cafe. Before we get into this episode, I just want to let you know that they're doing some landscaping outside my window. So if you hear anything, biggest apologies for that. But I honestly think that that is a perfect way to start this episode because podcasting can open so many doors, but so many people don't move forward with it because they have these things holding them back, such as not having the perfect place to record, not having the quietest space, not having your idea locked down, not having the perfect artwork. And when you let these things get in your way, you're not only stopping yourself from having a great podcast, but you're stopping yourself from meeting new people, getting in front of new people. And honestly, that is the biggest way that I've seen podcasting transform my business and my clients' businesses. It's just starting and putting out the content. Because podcasting builds credibility before someone even meets you. I cannot tell you how many times I've been to networking events here in Seattle or are in different groups virtually, and people say to me, oh, like, I've heard your podcast. It's so funny to meet you in person. You know that saying that your reputation precedes you? Well, podcasting is a great way to control that narrative and really have someone see you as the expert before you even meet them. This is true for what I just talked about when you go networking, but it's also true for when clients come and connect with you before they even get on a call. Because the truth is, before someone gets on a call with you, if they want to work with you, if let's say you're a service provider coach, they're going to want to do a deep dive on who you are and see if like you're the real deal. These days in social media and the online virtual coaching space and service provider space and just online business, there are so many people out there who promise things but never deliver. And a lot of people at this point have been burned by people who they've hired and haven't gotten the results that they've seen. So they go and do research, and your podcast can be the perfect place to build credibility before they even meet you. In addition to that, this is kind of the invisible power behind podcasting because you're immediately positioned as the authority. Someone is taking you on their commute, on their run, on their walk, whatever it is. They're listening to you because they respect what you have to say, and they also really do believe that you're the best person to teach it. So yes, it's building credibility, but it's also building authority in the space. And for any business, like having more authority and more people knowing your name isn't going to hurt. That's exactly what you want to do. It's like posting on social media. You hope that something goes viral. You hope that the right people see it. Well, with podcasting, you can be sure that the right people are seeing it. Podcasting also builds relationships faster than anything else because, yes, you will have the relationship with your listener, but you will also have relationships with your guests if you decide to have them. In tomorrow's episode, I'm talking with Angela, the host of Empower Her Money podcast, and we talk all about this. So make sure that you tune into tomorrow's episode. But podcasting is truly an instant networking tool. Let me tell you more. What Angela explains in her episode is that she gets in these rooms. Sometimes you have to pay to play. You have to pay to get a seat at the table. And you're talking to someone and you're like, wow, this is a really cool person. But let's just say it's like an hour luncheon. Instead of asking that person out for coffee, which, as we all know, when someone's successful and their time to them, their time is valuable, but they don't want to give it away just to anyone. Whereas if you have a podcast, you're getting in these rooms, you can then invite them onto your show because you will still get the same result. You'll get to network with them, learn about them even more, but they'll have the added benefit of being on your platform and promoting themselves. And I've never asked anyone to be on my podcast and they said no, because everyone loves to talk about themselves. So really, it's just a great way to build these relationships faster, because then you can invite people on who you admire without feeling awkward like you're taking up their time or you have to buy them a coffee or dinner, whatever it is. You know, podcasting is really a great way to build these relationships. I do this often in my podcast, both podcasts, Employee to Boss, and this one, Podcast Cafe. And I see my clients do this a lot too. One of my clients, her name is Zoe. She's the host of the Not Perfect Networking podcast. And what she talks about with her and her guest is really how you never know who someone is going to be in your life. You never know how you're going to meet them. You never know where the partnership is going to go. I actually got my biggest client ever through my podcast. She came on, we chatted, she had a podcast. I saw some opportunities where it could be enhanced and she decided to move forward with it. It's instances like that where you never know what's going to happen by having someone else on the other side of the mic, whether you're doing it in person or virtually like I do. You never know what type of relationship you'll build with that person. But this is such a big reason to start your podcast. Or if you already have a podcast, it's a really good reason to start having guests on your podcasts. If you have questions about that, let me know. Podcasting also increases your visibility. So not only will it increase your visibility online through SEO, podcasting is forever. I will always say this. Podcasting is forever. Podcast episodes last forever. People will find your episodes months, even years later, because of how you title your episode, what it's about. Maybe you cover a topic now, it's relevant. Next year it'll be relevant too. You never know how someone is going to find you in business, period. You never know if your next client is going to come through referral, if it's going to come through your next offer, if it's going to come through your podcast, right? There's so many unknowns in business. That's why they always say entrepreneurs are so we take risks, right? We never know what's going to happen. There's some things we can predict, but we never know who's going to give us money. But with podcasting, it gives you visibility that you won't even predict, right? So like I said, the SEO, maybe you have a fan of your podcast, they listen, it's not the right time for them to work with you, but they know someone they will then send your podcast episode to, and that person will work with you. Podcasting can be heard by anyone. You don't know if it's going to lead to your next media feature, your next guest spot on someone else's podcast, your next collaboration. These things happen because people hear your podcast first and then they decide to get into your world. Visibility is one of the biggest parts of podcasting that I just cannot get over because it's helped me so much and all of my clients. I have so many success stories I want to share, but I like to keep these espresso shot episodes short, so we'll have to do that in another episode. The last part that I want to talk about is how podcasting strengthens your voice and your confidence. Yes, when you're podcasting, you might be doing solo episodes like I'm doing right now, or you're doing guest episodes and speaking with someone. But honestly, I used to be so shy. I really did. I know it's hard to believe because I can now talk to anyone, anywhere, but I used to be so shy that like anything, I could not speak in front of a crowd. By podcasting, and I've been doing this for a while, my public speaking has gotten better. I'm better on sales calls. I'm better at interviews. I'm better at day-to-day meeting people. That can be true for you too. I've seen this true for so many of my clients when they come to me to start their podcast versus where they are now. Your first episodes are never going to be your best, but like the growth is something to note. Like that is powerful. Seeing how you drastically change from, maybe being shy or soft-spoken to now being confident, sharing your voice, sharing your message. This is one of those like hidden benefits of podcasting, is your ability to communicate your ideas improves dramatically. So like I said, my espresso shot episodes are really short. So just to recap, we talked all about how doors you didn't even know were there could open from you from podcasting, such as the invisible power of podcasting, how podcasting builds relationships. It gives you visibility you can't even always predict, and it strengthens your voice. So podcasting is not just a marketing channel, it is a relationship builder, an opportunity creator, and a confidence booster. I really encourage you to start the podcast, have the conversation, start putting your voice and your thoughts and yourself out there, and you will start opening the doors that you can't even see yet. That's powerful. So like I said, make sure you come back tomorrow and listen to Angela's episode. It is so good, and it really just dives deeper into this topic of what starting a podcast can do for you. Thank you so much for joining me in the Podcast Cafe. I hope you're leaving with fresh ideas and inspiration to take your podcast to the next level. Remember, podcasting is a journey and you don't have to do it alone. I'm here to help you every step of the way. Let's connect. Be sure you follow me on Instagram at Espresso Podcast Production or visit espressopodcastproduction.com for more tips, resources, and behind the scenes insights. I'd love to hear about your podcasting journey. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling extra generous, I'd love it if you could leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps more podcasters just like you find the show. Until next time, grab your coffee, keep creating, and I'll see you back here in the Podcast Cafe.